I'm Leann Chen. I hope I intentionally put my name all in capital letters, hoping everyone could see it. Unfortunately, for the people over there, like you're too far away from the setup here. I apologize for the setup of this location. So yeah. Anyways, I appreciate everyone coming. I guess, let me guess a number, probably 95% of you came here after work. Is that true? Yes. 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 Okay. So actually, like I've been thinking about like what could be fun for tonight's meetup. Because like if it's just like presentation and you're already pretty exhausted from work, and do we need more slides? Do we need more like bullet points? So so this is actually my first slide and also my last slide. And people like, if you already know Neo, because like Alex just did some poll, and apparently some people already know about neo4j. So those who already know about neo4j, can you kind of like turn on the switch a little bit, like pretend that you know nothing about neo4j, okay? Just for a second. What do you think this is? Like, is this an AI generated image? No. Then what could it be? Like it looks kind of weird, right? Like what does it look even? It looks something you would see in your physics textbook, right? Something like that. So is there? I just wonder if there's any like creative, like imagining. Whoop. Looks like a flower. It looks like a flower. Oh wow! That's a new perspective. How come? Okay, but. Yeah, but it kind of looks like, I like that answer. Any other guesses, I guess? Or broccoli? Oh, it's okay, so right now we can start like, remember, like for those like, like you can recall back neo4j, thanks to the colors they have here. It's a colorful broccoli that you're seeing here. Okay, anyways, I'll just jump to conclusion. So, I'm from Diffbot, and we're basically we created the largest knowledge graph, and I'll explain that in just a few seconds. But I guess a lot of you already know knowledge graphs or not. Like, how many of you already knew knowledge graph? Okay, so for the rest of you, like when you're on Luma and you look at this events, like just as Alexi already mentioned, there are 8 others. Meetups happening at the same time, and assume all of those are the meetups also have free pizzas too, right? Then what are like why do you sign up to this? Like is it because like you want to know about knowledge graph or neo4j or you think you probably AWS Gen AI Love will provide better pizzas? I don't know. Any other guesses? Answers? Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Doing some extra exercise here. Hello, folks here. Trying to give you some attention. No. Anyone want to share? Like, why are you here?
Previously, you asked the question. I see funnels and conic forms.
Funnels? Oh, that's a very marketing thing. Yeah, it sort of looks like a funnel. Like, well, right now, look at it. So I have a dog, and sometimes my dog would, trying to lick, some things that she shouldn't lick, and I would put on like a kind of like a fondant in front of her so that she doesn't do random stuff. Anyways, so for those, like, I mean, people don't really share like why they sign up. I would just assume for better pizzas. But for those who don't really know about knowledge graphs, later Tomasz will give you a very detailed explanation of what knowledge graphs do. What I plan to do is, I'm not going to go the lengthy explanation of what knowledge graph do, but later I want to play a game with you guys because that sounds more fun, I guess. And this game is called Live Demo. Why? Because sometimes you really need the god of the god of the demo to be with you to have things successful. But that's actually too predictable and too boring. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm going to show you a demo, and it's later you will have a better kind of like understanding of, okay, what this knowledge graph can do it or be helpful with LLM-based applications such as RAG, retrieval augmented generation, and like how does knowledge, like how can it be helpful, and what are the roles between like knowledge graphs and neo4j as a graph database, and how they can work together. So what I'm gonna do here is and I'm gonna show this like a GitHub open source project. This is you probably already like a lot of people already know Tomasz, or you actually came here because of him because he's such a superstar. This is one of the demos that the prototypes that we previously built, but he did 98% of the work. So I'm hyping Tomasz up. And what I'm gonna do is, and so this is a mini graph RAG project, which means like you have RAG and it's based on a graph. And what can it do? And I'll show in a minute. So the backend of this graph RAG is absolutely backed by neo4j. As you can see here, wait a second, let's stop. So right now, see the database, you see like a lot of nodes, right? And the relationships. And I'm gonna clean this up because I'm gonna show everything from scratch. So let's first, wait a second. I'll clean everything. Delete. Okay, just to show that. So you see, deleted 3,000 nodes and return. Okay, so it's clean right now. And okay, so before I start this demo, I want to ask, like, do people nowadays still read news? No, right? Yes, like New York Times, the type of thing.
Not New York Times, but news.
With the news.
Real news.
Real news. Newspaper news.
Like
the paper.
Associated Press.
Oh, okay. So it's a shame to admit, but I'm part of Gen Z. So so how I absorb news is actually from Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Those like very unofficial, like the medias. And okay, this is another tangent. We're not talking about this, but let's say if like you're in business and you want to know like more seriously about like what's going on. For example, a few days ago, the election. There's a new president. Nothing about politics, but you want to know about like how the stocks are going. And I heard like Dogecoins are doing pretty well, right? Anyways. But so if like you're trying to do some like market analysis and say, okay, I want to know about like after this certain event and how these companies are doing, or if they are having like a new model or something like that. So for example, like NVIDIA, I think people all know about NVIDIA. If I want to know what's going on with them, and I can like do real-time articles crawling. I'll just import 10 articles. Like this is 10 recent news about NVIDIA. Okay, so right, and originally I have my database is clean. Okay, now we have something. Okay, so as you can see here, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 articles here. See, so these are the articles that somehow, as suggested by the title or in the context, is mentioning or related to NVIDIA. So let's see if there's an article that we can pull up from. So for example, this one, and is it big enough? I guess so. Okay, so like this is essentially like using the Diffbot API because we crawl the entire internet. And we import it. We can like basically all articles or data from the internet is being structured, like as you can see here. And when I click on the link, it goes here, and this is something that this is actually I guess 8 hours ago. This is a news literally from today. Okay, So what I'm gonna do is right now, you see there's just a few nodes. There's like only, you know, like small graphs. And what the graphs are doing is actually like the articles, and it's mentioning the different organizations that have been mentioned. And what are we doing with this data? So let's actually show this. So basically, we actually just create a small, like a graph rack type of thing. If I want to say, okay, summarize, what's this called? Okay, summarize this article for me, and don't include chat history. See, the rack mode is vector only. Okay, so it's generating like real-time summarization, and this is essentially like the data from it's pulling from neo4j, the data backend. And how do I know like this summarization is pulling exactly the right place? So if I click on this is the context data, and you can see this entire article is literally here. To enable and here. Okay. So this is a small, like a simple vector-based rack, because like while neo4j, even if it's like a graph database, it can also store like unstructured text data too. But like what I want to, like, let's say, okay, I read this news and I actually come up with more questions, such as, okay, like NVIDIA, I learned this company, but I really want to know more holistically what this company is about, right? Such as competitors, right? Who are NVIDIA's competitors? Even though right now it's like pretty much no, right? Because the stocks are like skyrocketing. But let's say we want to have like a more holistic information about NVIDIA. But right now our graph database, like we don't have that, right? Like if you go, see, there's nothing around here. So what I can do is I can do, oh, okay, so first I will do natural language processing. It's basically just to extract some of the entities or relationships from the articles. We'll first do that. Let's give it a little bit of time. Guess it's working. And yeah, bear with me. This is an exciting part, waiting. So, okay, done. Process 10 articles. And let's run it again. Okay, so you right now have a more enriched graph, which like it includes all the relationships or entities in the articles. And I'll further explain what this will do. So just bear with me. And okay, NVIDIA. So if I say, no, chat agent, I say, tell me about NVIDIA, like industry, competitors, or suppliers. If I do this, it will tell me. The context provided doesn't include specific information because our data is just limited to the news articles, right? And it wouldn't give us that data. And that's actually good because we don't want LLMs to hallucinate something it doesn't know, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to enhance the entities. So what it will do is, like, originally we don't have any information about, you know, like the entities such as, I just saw like probably Apple is also mentioned or NVIDIA is also mentioned. But we want to know more like holistically, like comprehensive information about it. And okay, so this is a bigger graph. I'm not going into detail about like the specific nodes, but if I ask the same question, and here you can see rack mode, I'm changing from vector only to vector plus kg. I'll explain that in a bit, but let's ask the same question again. NVIDIA, such as competitors, suppliers. Okay, let's wait for it. Okay, so you see that this is returning this. And this will only happen when this, like, you have the RAG mode, like the retrievals are like fetching both from unstructured data, which is vector-based, based on vector similarity search, the most mainstream RAG backbone, and the KG one, which is extracting information from structured data. So if you inspect the context data, like what it's extracting from, what it's retrieving from, you would see all these other new information being fed, such as NVIDIA has a partnership with, of course, a lot of companies in the industry, like has different classification, has CEO Jensen Huang, of course, and then has competitors here, suppliers. And it also reference to some of the news articles we just imported. So this is just a small demo of like if, you know, some, okay, sorry. Yeah, you have a question?
Did you redefine what kind of relationship you are looking for, or how does this exactly work?
Yes. So that's a good question. We definitely need to predefine, such as like NVIDIA, it's like an organization or something. There's like different machine learning models behind it to kind of discern like what type of like entities or relationships it is. But like for example, you would say like Apple, it's not just an organization. It could be like you know, other entities. I have to think of it. But I will show you later. But yeah, right now this is based on like a predefined like ontologies and relationships, like what it should be, the relationship should be, such as like the suppliers, the competitors. Yes, it's predefined. Yeah.
Did this pull in any additional data besides the original articles? Like when you enriched, or at any point is this thing hitting the internet, pulling down more data?
Yes, it's pulled from the internet real time. So like I just import articles, right? Mm-hmm. It's like importing literally the microchip to, hold on. Like when I hit the import articles previously, 10 articles is pulling the most recent articles regarding NVIDIA.
After that, did it hit the internet again when you wanted to enrich?
No. So because like Diffbot across the entire internet, we organize information. So we have our like you know, information such as NVIDIA, competitors, suppliers, and our own.
So there's already some data there.
Yeah. So let me show you what it actually looks like. It's basically like Wikipedia. If you go onto Wikipedia, you can see there's a sorry. So for example, if I search name NVIDIA. Okay. Oh, sorry. Wrong case. NVIDIA search. Okay. So this is basically like when I hit the enhance button, this is the information that is being pulled from, like summary and headquarters, like funding rounds, or like the key people here is subsidiaries. Basically, what you just see in the nodes or relationships are being pulled from here. Yeah. Any other questions? I would love, like, if you guys have any questions, just raise my hand. I love to be interrupted.
Let me bring the mic to the questions.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Hello. Yeah, it's nice to keep me exercising while presenting.
So it pulls down 10 articles, and then this other screen you're showing, that's what got generated when you hit the, you hit like natural language processing or something like that over there?
Yes.
This screen is processing that data, organizing it, and then you query it, and your model tells it to look in this natural language output?
Yes, exactly. So just to summarize a little bit, it's like I imported articles, and because in the articles, for example, this, you know, like they are like in NVIDIA, like how streamlined, there's like some relationships in the articles. And if we want to read every article like with human eyes to understand it's too time consuming. So we use our NLP API to like extract the entities and relationships, so it becomes a graph. Like we load it into neo4j. Does that answer your question? Okay, okay. Nice, I love questions. Go ahead.
How difficult is it to tell the model to identify some new relationships which are not predefined by you and are necessary for a specific vertical?
That's a good question. That's related to the NLP API. I'm going to show that later, so I'll remember your question. If I don't, yeah. Okay, another question, yeah. Okay, I actually like finding a bit. So.
Would you be able to provide your own unstructured data, such as a conversation, and have it build a graph from that?
Yes. Okay, I think that's related to your question. So, you know what? I'm going to switch a little bit of the agenda and show you guys like what exactly what I meant. Wait a second. Let me find. Okay. So, NLP demo. Okay, I want to do this like interactively, so anyone could volunteer giving me a paragraph, like any type of paragraph you have. And we're gonna do like real time. Wait, can I? we're gonna do real time knowledge graph construction.
Can we get the quarterly report of Airbus? So like there's a bunch of text in there.
Airbus, did you just say?
Yeah, Airbus, the aircraft company.
Oh, you want to find Airbus?
The quarterly report.
Quarterly report.
Yeah.
Yes, we go. So quarterly, are you saying the SEC filing, that type of thing? That could work also. Okay. You know what? I can do that, but I'm just afraid that my time is running out. How about I'll go after to your like more specific uses that I want to. Yeah. Anyone want to kind of send me some text? No? Okay, I'll go on Wikipedia, find my own. So let's say we want to, because I just saw YouTube here. YouTube, Wikipedia. Because that, why is it Wikipedia? Okay, so let's say we copy this text and demo. Okay. So this is also a demo that we hear. I'm gonna replace this text because I'm curious about YouTube, and let's give it some more time. Sorry. Okay. So you see, I just copy any unstructured data. It's like a summary of YouTube. And it created knowledge graph, like it extracted, it identified the different entities here. So related to someone asked earlier, like the predefined ontology, yes, it's currently under predefined, but you can see that YouTube, like it could be fit under different types of categories, as you can see here. You know? Yeah. So this is related to someone that just asked, like this, basically I just constructed a knowledge graph using our NLP API. Anyone had, like, is there any other questions? Oh, go ahead, sure. Huh?
Does it work, for instance, with healthcare data to extract symptoms and extract relationships between, things in healthcare?
Yeah, so can you give me just one, like a random, like a medical term? The longer the better. Like the rarer the better. I'm going to show you. Yeah. Is there a term that, tell me how to spell it? And
maybe just take the Wikipedia article for sinusitis or something.
Okay, what's that?
Or you can take this.
Or some disease.
Resveratrol.
Okay.
Resveratrol.
Okay. I probably need to learn English first. Resveratrol. Okay.
Resveratrol.
Okay, resveratrol. Oh, good. WebMD. Okay, let's do it. WebMD, is that a valid source? Okay, let's copy this text and do again. Let's drag, no. Okay. Just close it, unintentionally submit. Sorry, another few seconds. I think I'm over time, right? It's good. Yeah, we scrape the images from the internet and store it in our data center. Yes. Anyone? Questions? Yeah. Welcome. So you see, is this related to? Yeah. Yeah. It can identify. So actually, if I click on this, it's like, well, actually, this is another term in knowledge graph. Like we're doing entity linking. It's like we have this identity in our graph, like we know what it is, including the different names in other languages too. So is that, yeah, I know?
I have a question about how do you validate those relationships you have identified are correct? Mm-hmm. In the NVIDIA example, yes. I think in the supplier list, some of them don't look like suppliers, they look like customers. So yes, I'm curious how you validate the results.
Okay, so actually, you know what? Let me do this. So show me suppliers of NVIDIA that are also customers, right? At the same time. Okay, let's see. Okay, something's wrong here. Partnership, what's has suppliers. Okay, yeah. So I probably didn't, I didn't enrich all of them, but that's a valid question. Like if I can later do like so the another thing about knowledge graph is like if this entity, like it happens to have multiple relationships at the same time. For example, like suppliers and customers at the same time, that it could identify, return that. And your question is very valid. It's like, yeah, how do we have like a common like consensus of like, oh, is this relationship universally acceptable, right? Well, there's definitely some outliers and long tails, and I'm not gonna lie about like, oh, we can handle like everything correctly, but it's like this is pretty much like a common sense. Like basically, we try where we're trying to do at Diffbot is we verify information from various source, and basically we have confidence scores of like the information. Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, I think you might have addressed it, but maybe I missed it. So how do you get the relationship? Like how do you you could sort of predefine maybe relationship knowing that the world you are in.
Yes.
If it's news world or health world, whatever.
Yes. How?
But then now you're just kind of copy pasting anything. How do you handle the optimal relationship?
Yeah, so this is related to this lady's question. It's there's definitely like various machine learning models working behind the scene. Like they were do some kind of like calculation and see, okay, this is probably the most identified or agreeable relationship so we use that. And I want to kind of emphasize this is your knowledge graph, and I know people from neo4j later will probably talk about this too. Knowledge graph is basically how you want to organize your data to to have the best performance to whatever task you're solving here. So like we're doing like a more general thing, and then you can definitely redefine like if it's not, So a lot of machine learning models, such as like the company. Huh? Oh, that's a good question. No, so pre-LLM, we have been doing this pre-LLM, the NLP, the natural language processing stuff. and the results will be deterministic because it's under like a fixed schema. And that's something that right now, if people want to use LLMs to do knowledge graph construction, they will face is like every time you do in like a unstructured text, even if it's the same, it will generate different results. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, so we probably have time for 2 more questions, right?
Okay.
Because we'll need to move on. So please, ask a question and put a lot of thought into it.
Sure. So I have 2 very quick questions. The first one being, so our startup uses neo4j quite often. Yes. I'm curious to know which model do you think works very well for you when it comes to categorizing the data?
Categorizing data. What do you mean by categorizing?
So let's say, for example, you have different nodes and relationships, and all the text is typically unstructured. So what model do you think works best for you when it comes to structuring that data and putting it into the knowledge graph?
Well, so I would always want to go back to for knowledge graph construction, it always goes back to what type of task, what type of problems you're trying to solve, right? Because different domains, they would have different ontology, like as the graph people would say. But like for us, we want to provide data for for example, like data analysts, data scientists, and this more universal. So the models, we don't what you're seeing here is not LN powered. What we're working towards integrating, but the models are more like natural language processing and entity linking and a lot of machine learning models. Okay,
so you're not using, let's say, an OpenAI API to kind of categorize the data. Okay, and my follow-up question is, essentially, is this similar to just a cosine similarity for your vector database combined with a knowledge graph?
Yeah, so because as I mentioned, neo4j, there's a property graph. You can store embeddings of that entity under the node. And for example, we search to articles and it's doing vector similarity search. Yes.
Thanks. And so sorry if I missed this earlier. I wanted to hear because there's use cases I know of in our situation, and I'm sure many where it goes out to the web, it gathers information based on that information, it's enriched, and then there could be a secondary or multi-step, gathering of information to the web. Is that a functionality of this now today, or is that?
Yeah. So we of course we specifically designed this demo. Basically, we're calling API and to say, okay, we first import articles and do the NLP stuff, and then enrich some of the metadata and do a RAG thing, right? We can talk more about this. This is like an open source GitHub.
Then does it go back into the web and then gather the information?
If you call it, if you want to do real time, yeah.
All right, I think maybe one more question, and we'll have some time after the talks to mingle this time. So hopefully, Leann will hang out.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Deval. I mean, for the presentation, this example of extracting data from news articles is great, but where do you think this would be best served? Because to me, I'm looking at this example and I'd be like, hey, I'll probably just go on Google to get the supplier list. I might even go to FBI's J. Edgar Hoover, whatever that database is, right? And I love that question about validation. How do you validate the data that's been extracted? So where do you think, what would be in the real world, what would be the best place this software would serve best?
Yeah, so what I just showed to you is just a subset of the demos. Our APIs, we're grabbing, for example, a lot of people want to web scrape. They want to, initially they go to Python, beautiful script, Selenium driver, just to scrape the data from that website. And we what we offer mainly is you enter any URL and it's scripted for you, and you have a CSV file. And also, of course, the metadata that you're seeing here. I mean, the validation part, because we serve data scientists and data analysts, and we care to what's the information that's most helpful. People are doing market analysis and want to make sure that information are factual and helpful to them. So that's the relationships that are agreeable. I can talk more about that to you, but this is just a demo. This is not what we do. Yeah, thank you. And so anyone if you feel okay, I still kind of don't know what this actually do, You can go on diffbot.com. Well, we give everyone a free token, so you can play around, and like you don't have to be concerned about the cost. If you're just like, okay, I want to see what this is about. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leann. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So, let's get so much.